Hello everyone, I am Inez Paulino and this is my narrated digital presentation. In 1990, there's definitely a technology boom. At that time, less than 1% of Americans had internet access in their home. In 2016, nearly 86% of Americans had internet. In 1990, 4% of Americans owned a cellular phone. And then in 2016, 18% had a cell phone and nearly 75% had a smartphone. In 1990, 62% of music sales were tapes, and in 2016, 62% of music sold was in digital form. So we can clearly see that from 1990, there was a huge technology boom. There was also a boom in social media because of that technology boom. In 2001, Wikipedia took off, and Wikipedia is just a forum where people can go and write on topics, concepts, and it's an open forum where people can go on and add to it. In 2002, Friendster started. In 2004, MySpace, Facebook, and Yelp all got their start. 2005, YouTube initially. In 2005, YouTube didn't really have anything educational, but now I definitely use it quite a bit in finding videos that connect with things that I'm teaching in the classroom, just to give that visual example. And then in 2006, Twitter got its start. In 2010, we started seeing iPads and Instagram was started. So this is just a really big change from 2001 to now in how people socialize with one another. They are now connecting more online than ever before. Now, because of the technology boom and the huge change in how society socializes with social media, societal norms and their effects on teachers are definitely something that needs to be talked about. Children are being exposed to the digital world at a very young age. For this generation, it is the norm to communicate, socialize, and find information and entertainment all online. As adults, we tend to have these devices in our possessions, and whatever we have, our children want. So it is normal for them to want to use them. In the classroom, teachers are expected to differentiate for the needs of their students, and so teachers have to adjust to the new societal norms by incorporating this technology into their own classrooms. Since it is so normal for children to use these devices, it does make sense that we bring them into the classroom since they are comfortable with them, they are engaged with them, and so forth. Teachers also have to take into account the possible inequalities when it comes to which students have access to technology at home and those who do not. Even though numbers have vastly increased since 1990 on who has technology and who does not, we still cannot assume that all of our students are going to have this technology at home. So that is something that teachers also have to keep in mind if they're giving assignments or homework that's strictly online. That might become an issue for some students who do not have the availability of that technology to do those assignments at home. So it is still nice to still differentiate for the students who have and have not. Using technology as a tool for learning, iPads are definitely a useful tool in the classroom. It can be used for small group rotations. Even an English learner could use the iPad. They can put on the headphones and use certain apps to help them acquire the English language. Apps such as Class Dojo and iMovie are a really huge deal in the classroom, especially for classroom management. Class Dojo is a really popular one where you can track and manage, and it's a way to connect even with parents. And using the app for iMovie, students can use that for creating a presentation or some type of project. This way it's a visual. And students really do get excited for things like that. And there's so many more apps that can be used inside the classroom. And then also Google Classroom. I have used Google Classroom quite a bit in my past classrooms, not so much currently, but in my past classrooms, I have used Google Classroom, and it's just a great way of keeping students accountable for their work, and it is so handy being able to share slides and notes without the worry of things getting lost. So those are just some really handy tools that can be used in the classroom. With technology does come some distractions, so we should talk about minimizing distractions that is caused by technology. Some things that I have learned is allowing smaller handheld devices only to be used in small group rotations, keeping them in the same spot, allowing those certain devices only to be used at a certain table in the classroom, so this way the students don't get used to walking around with the devices. They stay in one spot and they're just more likely to stay on task that way. Blocking websites that are not educational or maybe inappropriate for school. I have monitored my students, and if I saw that they were off task on some type of website that I didn't feel was appropriate for school, I would simply just make a note of it and tell my IT to block the website. So this way the students get blocked from using it, but they never know why it was blocked, and so they don't have to get upset about it. And I've just tried to have open conversations with my students about when we use technology to really make the best time of it and not take it for granted. I still see it as a privilege to have technology in the classroom, so when we use it, we should really be using it appropriately. And those conversations have just really allowed the students to be responsible for their own actions when it comes to technology. And then just monitoring the students really closely, just walking around, making sure that they know I'm checking in on what they're looking at, checking their web browser history, making sure they know that I'm checking these things and knowing that I'm walking around and checking what they're looking at. And then I also just providing a variety of learning experiences outside of technology. So this way the students just don't always expect the technology all the time for every lesson, for every assignment and project and so forth. They know that when they come in, they're going to get a variety of experiences they can look forward to outside of technology. When it comes to technology training for teachers, sometimes I feel that training, just a lot of information gets dumped on you, so you're trying to just keep up with what they're telling you, and when you walk out of there, there was just too much information, and it's really hard to implement anything. So I feel that training for teachers should roll out with technology. If you're getting iPads for the classroom or Chromebooks, when those are coming into play into your classroom, that's when the training should be happening. I feel that the training should be held on site and should be grade level appropriate. I don't think any teacher wants to sit and listen to things that do not have to deal with their grade level. And teachers should be given just enough information to get started, to feel that they're ready to jump in with a few things and try a few things out with the students, and then just really be encouraged to explore with their grade level teams. I feel the training should be held twice a year just to keep up with the technology and check in with what's gone on in the classroom, some successes, some failures, questions that teachers may have, and just kind of building slowly on that aspect. Again, I don't think dumping a lot of information at one time is very effective. I feel it should just roll out naturally and just so teachers can build on their skills slowly. And teachers, they have to make all kinds of decisions all day. Another decision to be made now is how to decide when to use technology. I feel it is best to use a T-chart to determine the risks and benefits of using technology for a specific assignment. And when I'm doing this T-chart, I think about certain questions to help me decide, such as will students be more or less engaged using the technology? Will it just be a distraction? Will the end product show knowledge of the concept taught? I don't want to give them technology just for the sake of giving them technology. I want to know that I'm going to get a product that proves their knowledge of something that I taught. Will students be distracted by the use of technology? Is it just going to take away from the learning? Is it going to take away from the experience of the concept that we're learning? And also, will it take up too much time? There's been times where I've wanted to use technology, but I knew within a unit I wasn't going to have enough time to be able to use it. So I had to think of another way to complete the assignment or to complete the unit. But there have been many times where I was allowed the time and I really felt that it was the best use of the time to use this technology. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my narrated digital presentation.